You are listening to episode 175 of the Autism Mom Coach, Back to School Pep Talk. Welcome to the Autism Mom Coach podcast. I am your host, Lisa Candera. I am a lawyer, a life coach, and most importantly, I am the full-time single mother of a teenager with autism. In this podcast, I am going to share with you the tools and strategies you need so you can fight like hell for your child without burning out. Let's get to it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. It's been a minute since I've recorded a new podcast episode. I'm excited to be back, and I hope you've all been having a nice summer. For those of you who are regular listeners of the podcast or you are on my email list, you might have noticed that I have been quiet for a bit. I am not ghosting you. I am here. I am working. I am creating content, and I am creating a brand new opportunity for more of you to work with me. I'm really excited to talk to you about that soon, but it's still in the works, so stay tuned. In the meantime, I did want to share some of my thoughts about taking a break because there is momentum when you keep going, but there's also burnout. And you all know this, right? There is value in consistency. There's also great value in taking a break. And I've noticed that since I've been able to take a break, I've been able to just experience life, do things, relax, that I have so much more energy and ideas for the things that I want to share with you, that I want to create for all of you to help you in your journey as an autism parent. So I say all of that to you because maybe this summer you took a break. Maybe this summer you didn't do all of the things, whatever they were. Maybe it was for your child. Maybe it was the therapy. Maybe it was the summer camp. Maybe you didn't read the books that you wanted to read or get together with the friends that you wanted to. Maybe instead of being extra scheduled, you relaxed and you let your child relax. There is value in that. We are taught so much about being productive. We're taught so much about the value of being productive, but I want to offer to you that resting is work. It is work for so many of us because we really struggle to do it. I know this for myself and I see it in my clients because they spend their rest time telling themselves all of the things that they should be doing. And that's actually not restful at all. It's really defeating the purpose of what rest is, which is why you never feel rested. And so if you've been looking back at the summer and thinking about what you should have done more of, so if you're looking back at this summer and you're thinking we should have done more of this or we should have done more than that, just first of all, why, right? There's no value to that for you now, but also look at the value of not doing those things, of relaxing, of taking some time, of just letting things unfold as they do. I think that there's real value in that because it's not like I'm doing nothing. I'm still working my full-time job, and on the side, I'm preparing for my son to turn 18 in almost 1 month. And there are a lot of emotions that go with that. And there's also a lot of logistics and planning and moving parts in order to handle all of that without feeling overwhelmed and letting myself feel all the feelings that come with it. Taking a break has been really helpful. So I say that to all of you just to let you know that it is okay, and actually it can be really helpful. But on that note, I will say that I have noticed in my coaching sessions with my one-on-one clients and in the weekly group call that I do with my former alumni clients, there's been a lot of talk about back to school. In our last meeting, one of the moms called it the calm before the storm. Everyone is getting ready and they're bracing themselves just a bit. You can feel it in their energy. I totally understand that. Honestly, I'm doing the same too with my son turning 18. There's a lot of uncertainty that I'm going to have to deal with as they unfold. And so to help you with this, I am going to leave a link in this podcast episode's notes for my back to school guide. It's 7 tips that I have found helpful for myself and that I have provided to my clients to prepare them for the new school year. Now, some of these tips might apply to you. Some of them might not. You use this for yourself and for your child. That's fine. It's okay. But if there are things in this guide that resonate with you, that resonate with your experience, even if your child is above the age of 18, you can use them and implement them in your life. So to get the guide, go to the show notes, click on the link. It's going to take you to a page where you will fill out your name and your email address, and then you will receive the guide in your inbox. But today, instead of reciting to you everything that's in the guide, I wanted to share something that's not in the guide, but is the most important lesson that I've learned. But it's the most important, I don't know if you would call it a lesson, but just sort of North Star guidance that I've adopted in my own life and I share with my clients all the time. And it's actually a couple things. But the first thing is we can prepare all we want, and life is gonna life, especially when it comes to our children with autism. We are sending them into these environments as children with autism, as adults with autism, as people with autism, and we are expecting neurotypical results on some level. We're expecting smooth sailing. We're expecting that there won't be hiccups, there won't be phone calls from the teacher, there won't be disruptions. And that expectation hurts so many of us. It's really not realistic. And I want to offer to you that the hiccups, the eruptions, the school refusals, the phone calls from school, as disruptive as they are all information. They're information about how your child is doing, what they need, what's working, and what's not working. And this is information that, quite honestly, you want early and often so you can make those adjustments, so you know what's happening. Because the flip side of that is the possibility that your child is masking, and they're masking really well. And it might be smooth sailing for a little bit, but then boom, they lose it because they can't deal anymore. These are things that you've probably already experienced in your own life. And now, because you've experienced them, you're going into September, like you're going into the school year, bracing yourself, and you're wanting to control for all the potential factors that could create those disruptions. If you just smooth sail through a school year, amazing, good on you. But that has not been my experience in my years of autism parenting, and it's not what I see in my clients either. And I want to offer to you that these are not problems. Now, I say that knowing the disruption that they cause, the anxiety, the decisions that you have to make when your child is struggling at school, whether that is taking off from work, missing work, having to leave, disruptions to your other children. I'm not suggesting that those aren't difficult and those aren't problems for you, but I want to offer you that instead of bracing yourself for all of these problems, looking at it as information that is going to unfold, I'm offering you to look at it as circumstances that will unfold, that will give you information about what your child needs, what's working for them, and the things that need to be adjusted. I say this because I have ridden the roller coaster every single year. Things would start off smoothly some years, and then there would be a dip right after Halloween, or it would be impossible to get my son into the school for the first 6 months of school, and then the rest of the school year was easy breezy. The fact is, our children have needs that are not fully addressed in most school settings, unless perhaps they are in a therapeutic environment wherein that environment is designed to meet them exactly where they are. Most environments aren't like that. Our children have to adjust to that environment, and in doing so, they may struggle. I really want to encourage you not to look at this as a failure on your part, as a failure on your child's part, but just as a piece of the information that is unfolding about what your child needs. In that, I want you to document it. I want you to email the team. I want you to keep the doctors, the medical staff informed. I want you to be annoying because I want you to have a record so that you can best advocate for your child and their needs as the year goes on. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing in all of this, knowing that for me, every year has been a roller coaster. There have been ups and downs. We've been at the lowest of lows and the highest of highs within weeks and months. I want to remind you, to remind yourself that whatever happens, you can handle it. You might not want to handle it, but you can handle it. Whatever it is. whatever it is, no matter how upsetting, heartbreaking, or embarrassing it is, you can handle it. I want you to remind yourself of that, because a lot of our anxiety is about the belief somewhere in there that there are things that might happen and we won't be able to handle it. That is not true. I know it for myself, and I've seen it in client after client. And that's why I always remind them, you can handle this. You might not want to, and that is totally valid, but you can handle it. All right, everyone, that is it for this week's podcast/pep talk. Again, to get the back to school guide, go to the show notes. You can get it right there. And if you are not already, get on my email address. I will leave the link in the show notes so that you can do that now. You can do it by going to the show notes or my website, theautismmomcoach.com. I am going to be announcing some new ways that you all can work with me, and I want you to be the first to know. All right, everyone, have a great week, and I will see you next. Thanks for listening to the Autism Mom Coach. If you are ready to apply the principles you are learning in these episodes to your life, it is time to schedule a consultation call with me. Podcasts are great, but the ahas are fleeting. Real change comes from application and implementation, and this is exactly what we do in my one-on-one coaching program. To schedule your consultation, go to my website, theautismmomcoach.com, work with me, and take the first step to taking better care of yourself so that you can show up as the parent you want to be for your child with autism.